Hey guys, Garrett McLaughlin here. I want to talk quickly about a single leg deadlift progression. A lot of people always start with their single leg deadlift, single leg hip hinge, and add some kind of dumbbell or external weight, which I think is kind of jumping the gun as far as the progression is concerned. What we need to do is teach the body how to move just around the hip joint without the low back, knee, other joints moving through the range of motion as we complete that. So just to show you, my first step of the progression is always the single leg reaching deadlift. Pretty beneficial if you want to add this as a strength exercise or as part of your dynamic warm-up. I think doing that somewhere within your program will be pretty beneficial just to learn how to properly hinge through the hips on a single leg. So just to see that, if I'm on one leg, small bend in the knee, I always want to make sure my back leg and my body move together. They're almost connected through this movement. So as I hinge forward, I'm going to reach my arms up, trying to get my whole body parallel to the ground. I'm going to drive through my right hip to stand myself back up. One thing you'll always notice a lot of people are doing incorrectly is as they're coming here, they're starting to lower down, and as they come down, they're letting the leg fall, and then they're standing up. We don't want to lose that connection between, again, waist up, waist down. We want to stay connected through that leg and the trunk to make sure everything is moving together, and that's really how we're ensuring that we're hinging through the hips properly. So just to show you again, reaching the arms out, kick the back leg up at the same time, drive through the hips, and stand back up. You can do that out in space, or if you notice you want some more feedback just to get the exercise right, doing it against something, whether it's a wall or, again, just this piece of equipment right here, I can come find the right position away, just try to tap my fingertips to the piece of equipment, and then drive through the hips to come back up. So using some kind of external cue here to keep yourself in the right position without leaning too far forward or losing balance could be beneficial. Once you learn how to hip hinge on a single leg with no weight, adding a dumbbell to the opposite side arm is usually the best starting point. So if I'm gonna use my right leg once again, I'm gonna hold the dumbbell on my left side, excuse me, in my left side hand. So as I do that, I'm gonna have a tendency to kind of let the body hang down here. At all times, I wanna almost lock that shoulder blade back into position, and that's gonna keep me from rotating and turning down, let that weight carry me down and rotate the body. So on one leg here, shoulder blades back, nice, slow and controlled. Weight, as you can see, is somewhat under my body as opposed to reaching out in front here. We don't want to really reach the weight in front of us. We want to keep it right against the shins or under the body. So small bend in the knee, hinge down, back leg is kicking out. Everything is the same here. Just have a weight in my left hand, drive through the hips as I come back up. So that right there is step 2. Once I get to step 3, I can add a second dumbbell or I can add a barbell. Obviously in this situation here, we can crank on a lot more weight. This is typically an exercise where people aren't going heavy enough. If you have the exercise down, the technique and the form, go ahead and load this exercise with as much weight and resistance as possible. We tend to think of this one as it's more of a slow, controlled, light exercise, but we can actually develop tons of strength, stability, and balance with this if we continue to add some weight and progress properly. So from here, again, I'm going to stay on my right foot. Now I have weight in both hands, small bend in the knee, going to hinge down, shoulder blades back, and drive down there, hinging through the hip, drive through the glute to stand back up. So nice, slow and controlled, getting balance. At all times on this one, you want to not so much worry about how close you are getting to the ground. A lot of people are thinking too much that they need to get down to the ground. So at the very bottom of the motion, you'll see almost a reach or a kick up really high of the back leg to get themselves lower. Don't worry about the ground. Think of more so how much mobility do you have through the hip? How far is your body letting you go down with a nice flat back and good posture through the spine? That is the position you want to get to. Eventually, as you improve mobility and get better, you'll be able to get a little bit lower, but don't worry so much about how far you're going down and really try to hit the ground each time. So that's it. That's a single leg hip hinge progression. Start with that body weight reaching deadlift, add a dumbbell, add 2 dumbbells or a bar, and you'll notice some good improvements in strength, stability, and balance as you progress through that properly. Again, try to take about 4 to 6 weeks for each one. Doing this exercise properly on the front end without jumping ahead and thinking you have to load it with so much weight from the beginning, you'll definitely notice some good results and better function in the long term.